Aloha, travellers. You're listening to the Travellers Ukulele Gig Guide podcast, where I talk to people about ukulele and travel. I'm your host, Shirley Ann. Today it's my pleasure. We are going to zoom down to Tasmania, and we're going to meet a ukulele player down there with a unique view on how and where to gig. Her name is Elizabeth. So join me now as we say hello. Good morning, Elizabeth. Aloha.
Good morning, Shirley Ann. Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
What a beautiful backdrop you've got.
Oh, thank you. It's one that Zoom zipped up for me.
Very nice.
I'm up in far north Queensland, and you're all the way down in Tasmania. Whereabouts are you, Elizabeth?
Well, I live at Clifton Beach. So that's Clifton Beach, Tasmania, not Clifton Beach, North Queensland, which I've been to, which is gorgeous. Clifton Beach, Tasmania is also gorgeous. It's about 30 kilometres outside of Hobart. It's on a peninsula, and where I am, there's 3 different nature reserves. There's a Cape Deslax Nature Reserve, there's Clifton Beach Coastal Reserve, and that's a surf beach, and there's the Pipe Clay Lagoon Coastal Reserve, and that's what I look out on at my place. And the thing that may be of interest to ukulele travelers is that there are a couple of hip camps at Clifton Beach that people can stay at if they would like to enjoy the coastal scenery while they're here in Tassie.
That sounds absolutely fantastic. Well, you've given us a great clue on the what to see and do down in Clifton Beach, and as you say, Tasmania, not far north Queensland. Can I just ask you what your musical background is?
Yeah, sure. When I was sort of young, and I think about 10, I sort of got interested in playing music. My Aunt Teresa used to play the guitar, and that was very inspiring to me. I originally got a electronic keyboard, but then I got a guitar when I was about 13. And I played that, right up until I really fell in love with the ukulele. And then it's been ukulele all the way since then.
Fantastic. I mean, one of the things about ukulele, of course, is that it's a small, compact, very friendly, lightweight instrument. And that's a bit different from a guitar, isn't it, Elizabeth?
Yes, that's why I really switched to ukulele, as I felt like I was really irritating my shoulder. As one gets older, one notices these things, and I wanted something that would fit my body better. And so my first ukulele I bought in 2009, and that was a Tanglewood ukulele. It was a tenor, and I realized that the size was right for me, and the Tanglewood was great to learn on. I have had a number of ukuleles over time since then.
But I noticed that the one that you're holding now has got that lovely, it's got a K symbol on it. And we all know the K brand is a great brand. Can you tell us a little bit about your ukulele?
Yes, this is a Canalea K1T with pickup, which I bought from Music City in Cairns when I went up there one time, because I've got some relatives up there. And I've also been up there for the Ukulele Festival. But what I found is this was in 2015. I'd been playing ukulele for a few years. I had bought a number of ukuleles and tried them out and enjoyed them, but I wanted something that was really going to be in tune all the way up the keyboard, up the fretboard, so to speak. And this has been fantastic. It was a bit more expensive, but I spend hundreds of hours every year on a ukulele, and I just felt that it was a good investment. I haven't regretted it 1 minute since then. It's just a beautiful instrument. I'm really very happy to own it.
That's fantastic. Yes, Canalea. And you bought it in Cairns, and you've been to Cairns to a ukulele festival, and you bought the instrument, I guess, at Music City, which is in Cairns.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, that's right. Music City, it's the best ukulele shop I've been to.
Well, there's a recommendation. Now, you have a ukulele. You've been playing it for a little while. You've been on the road traveling. You take it around the country when you go to different events. But what do you do locally, Elizabeth, with your ukulele?
Okay, so and this speaks to the reason why I got in touch with you, Shirley, and to say I was interested in having a chat. Myself, my husband, my partner, and another couple, we play music at aged care facilities. We're volunteers at aged care facilities, and we play usually about once a week, and we get heaps out of that. We really enjoy it. We have a I guess a kind of group of information and different songs that we hope appeals to that age group and appeals to us too.
Well, that's interesting, and you mentioned aged care facility, age group, and regular playouts. It's interesting because I like what you're wearing. To me, it particularly the hat, the colours, the clothes, and the layers. It does speak, I think, to a vintage sort of look. Does that match your musical styling?
Well, yes, it certainly matches my preferences. I love music from the 20s and 30s. Um, what I do try and do to make the sets interesting is to do stuff from 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. So that's five different things. We can get through about 18 songs in an hour. And so you're looking at around about three or four from each era. And that's really how I put my set together is I try and get some from each decade so that everybody will find something that is of interest to them.
That is really beautiful. You speak about going out and playing at facilities, aged care facilities. So I'm assuming you've got other people you play with. Do you have a band?
Yes, yes, we do. Myself and my partner and another couple are in a group we call Good Company. And Tony, who's in the so Rose and Tony are the other couple. Tony plays double bass, Rose plays mandolin, I play tenor ukulele, my partner Peter plays baritone ukulele. So we've got a sort of very broad tonal scale from very high mandolin to very low bass. And we're called Good Company because we have a great time together. And I also always finish our bracket by saying to the audience, thank you very much for having us. We're good company, and so are you. So that's, because it's true. It's true, they're wonderful audiences to play to. And I would encourage both people who are ukulele players who don't get out traveling all that much and ukulele players who are on the road to look around, find the aged care facility in the nearest town to where you either live or you're going to be passing through and contact them. And they're often very happy for volunteers to come in and play a few tunes.
Thanks for that recommendation, Elizabeth. And I suppose playing it aged care facilities would not be everybody's idea of a gig, but the wonderful thing about ukulele is that there are all sorts of cross sections of community who play, and that means we can meet a lot of community service need, or we can offer, that sort of
That's true.
service from playing at, public events and our local councils and kindies and high schools and uh, all sorts, as many different groups as there are. Um, do you do
True.
you have a funny ukulele story?
Well, I thought it was funny. I it's not funny in itself, but it sort of we did laugh later. Um, well, I started playing ukulele in aged care facilities because a friend of mine, her mother was in one, and I used to go and visit my friend's mother, and I didn't have a lot to say, and so I started bringing my ukulele. And so I started playing for her and was playing in her room. And they heard me and asked me to come out and play for the broader sort of group, which is what happened. But of course, my friend's mum wasn't well and she had a number of mini strokes. And I remember one time she had been pretty much unresponsive for a few days. And we were quite worried. And my friend had been in there. She'd been sitting by her mum's bed for ages. And I went in and she went and had a sort of little rest. And I was sitting there. And I thought, oh, well, I'll just play a bit of ukulele. I had by that stage gone to the point of I kept a ukulele in her room. And so I grabbed the ukulele and started playing. And I was playing When Irish Eyes Are Smiling. And I was playing and playing. And we do the verse, that's fine. We do the chorus. All of a sudden, her arms come up and she starts conducting me. Like, this is a woman who hadn't moved for a couple of days. And I'm sort of going, all right. And I'm sort of playing. And then I finish the chorus. Her arms go down again. I do another chorus. The arms come up. And my friend comes back into the room, face like thunder. She's, like, what are you doing? Don't you know my mom's sick, And I'm going, no, wait, watch this, And I do it again. And, obviously, yeah, she got up, her hands were up and she was conducting me. And we knew then that she was still here. Like her head was here. Music had cut through to speak to her. And that is the beautiful thing about music. I mean, it's sort of one of those things. It's not your classic ha ha funny, but we did have a laugh afterwards, and I think it was a laugh of relief. But also, I've seen it many times. People who just are sitting there and they have dementia or something, and then they won't really engage, and then you start singing something and they start singing because it's in us and it's part of us that's so deep and so unerasable. So yeah, so that's sort of funny. We thought it was funny at the time.
I think it's a beautiful story, and what I think that speaks to is the gift of music. And music does do that. It cuts through because it is stored in lots of different places. It's stored in our senses and our hearing and our taste as we sort of remember a song that we used to sing while we were, at family dinners and barbecues and out camping. And so there's little pathways that the musical notes sort of trigger and they restore something. So we might have lost it from one area, but then it's reconnected again through memory retained neurologically. So that's beautiful. And I
So
think
true.
there's a group in Cairns called FN Ukes, and they play twice a week to aged care facilities, and they have many stories of joy where people sort of immobilized or, affected by physical infirmity are able to show, even if it's a finger tapping or a toe wagging
Mm,
or
that's
something
right.
like that, there's some
Mm,
engagement, and in that there's enjoyment. Yeah. Oh, that's
so
wonderful.
true.
Really beautiful. You know what? I think this would be a perfect time. I see you've got your canalea ukulele around your
Mm,
neck. Would you be
hmm
so kind and give us a chorus of Irish Eyes a Smiling?
Absolutely. I'll just do the chorus, which is what everybody knows too. And hopefully it'll come through all right. I know it doesn't always work all that well on the computer, but we'll see how we go. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure 'tis like a morning spring. It's the lilt of Irish laughter. You can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish hearts are smiling, sure they'll sting your heart away.
Yay! And the crowd went
Mm.
wild. Thanks so
Thank
much,
you,
Elizabeth.
Shirley Ann.
Well, you're right. The Zoom connection is not so good as the sound is sort of dismantled and goes around Mars and flicks back to my computer in far north Queensland. But we did hear your beautiful voice and some of the lovely canalea that came to you via Cairns Music City. So thank you very
Well,
much for that.
can I just say, if your listeners are interested in hearing a somewhat better quality performance, I do have a YouTube channel. It's called Elizabeth Shannon AUS. That's ElizabethShannon one word. And yeah, we've got heaps of stuff on there. Some traditional Irish, some 20s and 30s, all sorts of crazy stuff. So yeah.
That's excellent. And I'm glad that you mentioned that because this is the Traveller's Ukulele Gig Guide podcast. So it's appropriate to sort of speak about gigs and share music from gigs and share music channels and groups, etc., with
Mm.
this audience. Um, could I ask you, do you actually listen to this podcast, Elizabeth?
Oh God, yes, I do actually. Um, um, I love this podcast, and I guess you know, I was going to save this message for the end because I know, having listened to this podcast, you always ask about your big ukulele dream. And I often listen to it and I think, goodness me, what is my big ukulele dream? I'm living the dream. I don't have any other dreams, but I have thought about it. And I did notice that the podcast, has been less frequent recently. And I'm glad that whenever I can hear it, I'd love to hear other ukulele players. I'd love to hear other people talking about what they're doing in their groups, because I know that the Facebook page has a list of groups and there's like 100 and something ukulele groups. I mean, there's heaps of them. So I would love to hear more from the different groups and what's going on and, just what they like doing. Because I have often find myself in the backyard and I'm digging away or I'm weeding the plants or whatever, listening to this podcast and really enjoying it and feeling like I'm part of a ukulele community, even if I'm down in Tasmania, sort of in my own little garden. It really connects us up. And so thank you, Shirley, and very much for doing this, because it's a great service that you're providing. And I really appreciate it. So all you people out there, go on, give Shirley Ann a call or text her or something and get on the show. I want to hear from you.
Yay! Thank you so much. And I do not apologise for shamelessly pushing that question towards you. But the reason why I did it was exactly this. You did mention to the fact that the podcast episodes have declined in number. And that is because, exactly as you've rightly assumed, people are a little bit shy about coming forward and sharing their stories, and they think about it and they think, oh, I've got nothing to say, or oh, I don't really care about it, or oh, nobody would be interested. But you never know, because there are people like Elizabeth who are actually, and myself actually, I love people and I love listening to people's stories. And everybody's got a story, and it may not be as flash or as glittery as the next person's story, but that's the community of ukulele, isn't it?
Oh,
We're here with the personality that we've got, and we share what we have to share. So I also encourage you, on the back of Elizabeth's message, please reach out to me and get on the show.
good on you. Yes, I agree. Here, here.
Well, now let's move a little bit forward. And one of the other questions that I love to ask is, who is your ukulele inspiration?
Okay, well, you may not be surprised to hear that my ukulele inspiration, was quite an elderly gentleman, Seaman Dan. I remember seeing him at the Cairns Ukulele Festival, and he, he was so cool. He was so, and he just had a beautiful way of writing, and I guess telling his story through the ukulele, and also of doing those wonderful vintage numbers. I mean, he really did some beautiful um, covers of vintage ukulele things. You can't play blues on the ukulele, I mean, it's just gorgeous. I love Seaman Dan, and he's my inspiration. Like, I'm 65 now, and he was, well into his 90s, I believe, when he passed away. So that means, I've probably got a good 30 years if I follow his footsteps. Yay! Just keep going. So yeah, I love Seaman Dan. So he's a ukulele inspiration for me, in many, many ways.
That's beautiful. Yes, his music, his legacy certainly lives on to
Mm.
inspire us, as we all just eventually cross over the Rainbow Bridge. Now, I think we've almost come to the end of our really lovely conversation. Um, Elizabeth, I'm just going to circle back round to that question that I do like to finish off on. Um, Apart from increasing the ukulele podcasts and stories of other ukulele players around the country and around the world, do you have a personal ukulele dream?
Um, well, I think that I guess the other thing I'd like to sort of mention is that as we are experiencing right now, the internet is a wonderful thing. We can connect with each other over, space and time through this. It's its own little TARDIS. So I hope to, continue to be involved in that. There's a couple of little groups that, I follow or contribute to. There's one called Uke to Bridge, which has a themed that competition. Every month, people put in something, to along a particular theme. And so you, over a period of time, you actually get to know people on the video. I mean, they're just ordinary people in their houses playing a song, but they just enjoy it. And I enjoy listening to it. So that's what I love about the ukulele, is it connects us. There's so many things in this world that can divide us. But the ukulele, you know, as Ringo would say, peace and love, you know, it's all about peace and love. And that is my ukulele dream, is that we use the power of the ukulele for peace and love in this world and beyond. How's that? That's a big one.
That's a beautiful one. That's a global one. And ladies and gentlemen, listening to the podcast, I think we can all raise our ukuleles in solidarity with that one. Yeah, that's beautiful. Elizabeth Shannon from Clifton Beach, Tasmania. It has been wonderful meeting you and talking to you today. This podcast is going to be up and running very, very shortly. I'll send you a link when it's all done. So thanks so much. If you know anybody else that wants to talk, get them to reach out, as you do.
I will.
And hopefully you will see the realization of your dream, where ukulele is uniting the world in peace and love.
Okay, thank you so much, Shirley Ann. Thank you for your podcast. Thank you for your time today. It's been great having this opportunity to get to know you a bit better. And, you know, I look forward to somebody interviewing you.
Oh, I think somebody's put their hand up to do that, and I should get around to it one day.
I'd love it.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. You. Aloha to you. All the very best.
Aloha. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
That's it, Elizabeth. We did it. Yay. Well done. High five to the screen, my dear. You did a great job. I love it.
Well it's done. Easy talking to you, Shirley Ann. You're so warm and, you know, you just make you want to tell you everything. But I controlled myself.
Good. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening, travellers. Don't forget to subscribe, like or click notifications on your preferred platform so you don't miss an episode. I'm dropping a new one every 2 to 3 weeks on a Wednesday because it's a great pick-me-up hump day kind of a podcast. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, Shirley Ann. Aloha.